What is good, everybody? Hopefully, everybody can hear me now. I'm sorry I had technical difficulties with the last live, but hopefully we got that settled, man. If anybody's in the comments, yeah, we're good. We're good. I hear it. We are all good. Welcome, everybody. I am Matthew Wilson, your future favorite sportscaster, and we're here with another edition of Jets Roundtable to recap the Cowboys' domination of the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium to bring the Jets to an 0-5 record. The Jets lost to the Dallas Cowboys today, 37-22. And you guys already know how I like to do this show. I don't like to ramble on. It's not going to be a long show. I don't like to ramble on. I like to have a fan experience. So all my Jets fans, make sure you tap in the comments. Let me know where you are. And once you do that, make sure you like and you subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new. We look at you guys like family. Obviously, this isn't a good day as a Jets fan, so we can vent together. Now, I'm not going to yell or do what I usually do in moments like this because there's nothing to yell at. So I want to get you guys' comments because, in my opinion, I just think the Jets are a bad team at this point. That's just my opinion. So I want to hear what you guys got to say. I do apologize about the last live that I was trying to do, had technical difficulties, but we push on, man. We push on. We don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Technical difficulties is a part of the game. But for the show today, we're going to go over some stats of the game, some stuff that I saw, what I liked, what I didn't like, what you guys liked, what you guys didn't like. We have some sound from some post-game comments from Aaron Glenn, as well as some sound from Justin Fields, because if you just look at the stat line, it will show you that, hey, Justin Fields had a good game, and that's not necessarily the case in my opinion. The Jets usually do their second half thing when the game is over where he gets all his yardage, and that's pretty much what we saw today. So, without no further ado, let's go over some stats, man. Go over some stats today. Like I said, the Jets lost 37-22. It was 23-3 at halftime, actually. So, in my opinion, this game was pretty much over at halftime. The first drive looked really good. It was a couple passes to Mason Taylor. Everything looked like it was moving along. The Jets got stopped, had to settle for a field goal. Then on a couple drives later, Jets were doing the same thing. Breece Hall was looking like the Breece Hall that I knew he could be if the Jets actually utilized him more in the offense. Handed the ball off to him instead of just trying to figure things out with Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen, who's now injured for 8 to 12 weeks on IR. But Breece Hall actually had a pretty good game. Let's put his stats up here. Let's talk about Breece real quick. Breece Hall actually had a pretty good game, 14 carries for 113 yards, something that Jets fans know that Breece Hall is totally capable of. But the issue is he had a bad fumble. He had a bad fumble, man. And it seemed like once Breece Hall fumbled, it turned the tide for this game. Jets just weren't able to bounce back. And I understand what Aaron Glenn is trying to implement with this team. He's trying to make them a resilient, hard-hitting, running the football type football team. Apparently that's what he wants the identity to be. But it's week 5, and that hasn't happened yet. Anytime something bad happens, a fumble, a bad penalty, this team crumbles. This team crumbles, man. And as a Jets fan, it's one of the most frustrating things in the world to see. Because it's just like this team has no fight in them. This team can't come from behind. They let scores get away too early. Even though it was 10-3 last week, we pretty much knew the game was over against the Miami Dolphins going into halftime. That's if you've been watching every football game this season. But I digress, man. The Breece Hall fumble was really bad. Turned the tide of the game. Garrett Wilson had 6 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. Pretty much been his usual stat line lately, except that most of the yards came from the second half when the game was pretty much over and the Dallas defense relaxed. And that's when Garrett Wilson could get his yards, get his stats. So that's frustrating. I think they only threw the ball to him like 2 or 3 times in the first half. So no looking for Garrett Wilson. He had a little bit of reprieve of Josh Reynolds. They actually threw to another receiver other than Garrett Wilson this game. Josh Reynolds had a couple of receptions in the first half. But that was pretty much it. Do it. A screen to Arian Smith. Alan Lazard got his one catch. That's pretty much it from this offense, man. We look at Justin Fields' stats. He went 32 for 46, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, if you didn't watch this game, that stat line will be like, well, Justin Fields wasn't the problem. I don't think Justin Fields had a good game, in my opinion. I don't. There was a lot of times he held on to the football too long, took a couple of really bad sacks. There was one good thing that I saw from Justin Fields is that the Jets offense had a couple of penalties, a holding penalty, an ineligible receiver downfield, say that fast 3 times. Had that penalty, put the Jets at 1-20, was able to get the Jets a first down. So he did do some good things. But this stat line is not what we think it is. Stat line isn't what we think it is. Justin Fields did not have a great game. We got some sound coming up for him. And this Jets team is just a bad team overall, guys. Let's look at the penalties because that's usually where that's usually what the Jets' Achilles heel has been, was penalties. They were high in penalties again, 10 penalties for 81 yards. They had 13 last week, or 61, excuse me. So the penalties weren't that bad. But if you look at the yardage, the Dallas Cowboys are number 1 in the league in yards. They have 416 on this Jets defense today. I said last week that the Jets seem to struggle more with guarding the rush than they do the pass. And that came into fruition. The Dallas Cowboys had 180 rushing yards today, including a 66-yard gain for touchdown from Javon Williams. And this Jets defense just can't stop a nosebleed. There was no Jarvis Brownlee today. And still, nothing from this Jets secondary. The safeties look terrible. Sauce Gardner isn't living up to his contract. He got burned bad by George Pickens for a touchdown today. So what do you say about this defense at this point, man? Other than they're just bad. Now, fans are wanting Aaron Glenn to call the defense. And I haven't been a fan of Steve Wilks, and I have to agree. This defense isn't responding to Steve Wilks' message, in my opinion. They still can't tackle very well. Brandon Stevens had a couple of good tackles. He had an open field tackle on Javon Williams that saved this score from possibly being 44-22. So there was that. But other than that, man, his defense has been god-awful, man. God-awful. And it continues to be that way. And I said last week when we had our live guys that the Jets are lucky if they're a 4 or 5 win football team at this point. They're lucky. No, I wouldn't talk about playoffs. No future quarterback in Justin Fields, in my opinion. It kind of seems like he just is what he is. Jets are just a bad football team, guys. It's not really much to break down when it comes to this football team. Now, I got into it with some friends this week because I said Dallas is a better football than the New York Jets. They figured that the New York Jets were able to be able to score points against this Dallas defense, and they still wasn't able to do it, man. Like I said, Justin Fields holds on to the ball way too long. Some real bad sacks from him this game. No fumble, I give him credit there. No interception, I give him credit there. But the turnover differential for this Jets team continues to be bottom of the league. And we see that today. The Jets couldn't force any turnovers against the Dallas Cowboys today. I don't even think they had an opportunity to. I don't think they fumbled not one time. There wasn't an opportunity where I was like, yeah, somebody should have picked that ball, but they just dropped it. It was none of that from the Jets defense. And this Dallas offense was so effective against the Jets today, it looked like they were running a 2-minute drill. I counted at least 2 to 3 drives where the Dallas Cowboys were able to score in under 2 minutes. That's how bad this defense is. In under 2 minutes. It's insane. It's insane. And that shows here because even though the Dallas Cowboys put up 37 points on the Jets won the time of possession. The Jets won 34 minutes and 36 seconds to the Dallas Cowboys 25 minutes and 24 seconds, which just shows you that the Jets defense couldn't stop anybody today. It couldn't stop anybody, man. It's tough. It's tough as a Jets fan. It's tough. Like I said, it's not going to be a long show. Just wanted to recap what happened. We got some sound from Aaron Glenn. What do you guys think about what Aaron Glenn says here? Aaron Glenn said he was disappointed. And that, you know, the usual message. They need to get better. With no further ado, Aaron Glenn on the Jets loss today.
I'm highly disappointed. I thought we had a really good opportunity. We were going in to score. We get the fumble, and it seemed like things went downhill after that. And that's something that we can't let happen. And I look at myself when it comes to that because it seemed like the wind was let out of us in that situation. And I got to figure out a way to get our guys going, you know, when things like that happen. And this is a game where it's an imperfect game that we try to make perfect. And we have to do a better job of trying to be better, you know, in situations like that. So I have to look at myself, see what I have to do to get these guys going when a situation happens like that. Because that's football. That's football. And in this game, the mentally tough are the ones that survive. So I got to do a better job of getting all the guys mentally tough when situations happen like that. So
Aaron Glenn's post-game comments on the Jets 37-22 loss. If you're here, make sure you like and subscribe. Shout out to New York native. I see you in the comments. The Jets are the get-right game for every team in the league right now. True. I said that last week when they lost to the Miami Dolphins. I said the Jets have this potential to where they're going to be the team that people play. And then they're going to get their stuff right against. And that's what it looked like for the Miami Dolphins. I heard they blew a 17-point lead today, so maybe that's not who we are here. But the Jets are just that bad. We might be the team that teams play when they're struggling, and it fixes their season. Because like I said, I got in an argument about a couple of friends about who the Dallas Cowboys were and what they were going to be in this game. I turned out to be right. Did you see the score? I turned out to be right there. But everybody was saying this Dallas Cowboys team was a bad team. And they look like world beaters today. So that's where we're at as a Jets franchise. Is that a team that everybody else seems to think is a bad team? They come into MetLife, or we go to their home field because we're 0-5. There's no home away differential of we play better on the road or we play better at home. There's none of that. We might just be that team. And like I said, we're lucky if we're a 4-5 win football team at this point. We be lucky, man. I saw some people in the comments on my TikTok, on Jets Roundtable TikTok. Make sure you go follow, like, and subscribe there. People said they're done. Fans are off the bandwagon. They're done. They're tired of seeing this. Can you blame them? It's been 14 to 15 years of just bad football. One of the toughest things in life, one of the toughest things in life is to be a Jets fan at this point. Is to be a Jets fan, man. So, just a terrible time right now, man. And it is only week 5. I guess the positive thing is it's only week 5. The Jets weren't as bad on the defense when it came to penalties. Weren't too many holding, pass interference, roughing the passer, unnecessary roughness. Even though Arian Smith almost got called for one. He got lucky. They called the response, but they didn't call him. So there still is some undisciplined football being played out there. And when we get to Aaron Glenn's comments is he has to hold himself accountable. Duh. This is what people have been saying for the past 5 weeks, guy. It's that now it's on you. It's on you. There should be no reason why a fumble from Breece Hall tanks the rest of the game for this team. There should be no reason for that. That's where you, as supposedly being this fiery leader and trying to change a culture, this is where you're supposed to come in at. This is here. So I understand what he's saying. There's not really too much he can say at this point. Aaron Glenn had a lot of bravado coming into this season, trying to give Jets fans some faith, saying that we're not the same old Jets, which is driving me crazy because what we see on tape is that this is the same old Jets. It's just bad right now. It's just bad right now, man. So we're going to go ahead and get to Justin Fields. Justin Fields had some comments on the game. Like I said, he threw for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, but most of those came in garbage time. So even he had something to say about his performance today. See what Justin Fields had to say in his post-game comments.
Perfect. Things to get better at, but that's everybody. Like I said, you got to connect on that shot to Garrett down the field, and we want 7 in the red zone. But like I said, there's always room to improve for me and my play, and I'm always going to say that. No matter if I go, no, you're good. If I go, 4 or 5 TDs, there's always going to be room to improve.
True. There's always room for improvement, but with the way this Jets offense, can it get worse at this point? Just because there's room for improvement doesn't mean that things aren't really bad right now. And this week, Tanner Engstrand went on a rant. Talk about look at the tape. Look at the tape. There's some good things that happens on this offense. When you look at the tape, the situations the Jets offense can move the ball. They do move the ball pretty much on the first drive. But if anything happens after that, the Jets offense is stagnant. So that's why when I heard his press conference, his press comments during the week, I was confused. Why are you so upset? Just like you said, the tape is the tape. The tape is the tape, man. Tape is the tape. The offense is bad. They're stagnant. And the defense can't stop a nosebleed. That's where we are. But that's really all we have today. Just wanted to do something quick. Richie, Matt, and Jake will be back this week. I know you guys miss them. I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to hold things down while they were away. But I want to enjoy my day, and I want you guys to do that too. Man. Don't let the Jets stress you out too much. I understand we're 0-5. Got to get better from here, right? Got to get better from here. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me for like 19 minutes. And I appreciate that, man. You guys have a wonderful day. And like I said, don't let the Jets stress you out. Peace.